Welcome back to the South Metro Scoop podcast. Today we got a new soon-to-be local business owner, Tony from Houndstown, that's coming to Burnsville, and welcome on to the show.
Thanks for having me, Brady.
I know a little bit about Houndstown, obviously, from my research about this, but maybe just tell us a little bit about what Houndstown is.
Yeah, so Houndstown is a little bit of a different take on doggy daycare and boarding facility. We call it an interactive daycare. It's really a place where we try to facilitate a place for dogs to go be dogs and really just be their most authentic selves. And then also boarding that goes with that, and all of our boarders get to go to daycare as well. So it's really about the social interaction of dogs and how do we facilitate that in the best manner that we can.
Yeah, and then just for your personal background, have you always been kind of a dog person rather than some other pets, or have you always had a couple pets around you?
Yep, we've always had dogs since I was as young as I can remember. I've always had one dog, if not two. We have a chocolate lab currently. When we go up to the lake at my wife's parents, there's 6, 7 labs collectively between the group. So we're just kind of a dog pack at all times. Sometimes the in-laws drop their dogs off and we have a pack at our house. So we're just always around dogs. I think my background personally is in pet care, but we've always been pet lovers and really adopted our dog as part of our family. So it just became a natural fit as we moved through the process of starting this.
So, then what drew you specifically to like a Houndstown franchise versus, there's some other kind of franchises that are around
Sure.
here in the South Metro versus starting something on your own?
Yeah, and we looked at a number of things. It really started out with kind of how do we get ourselves into something that we really own and operate? And it moved into how do we bring something into the community that's really needed? And Justine and I have worked in the apartment industry for a long time, and about 80% of apartment owners have dogs through most of the country, which is a pretty wild stat. But they don't have anywhere to go, right? They're in apartments. And with the whole work from home that's changed since COVID, not only is there a bigger need for daycare and boarding options, but the dogs need it just as much as the people do. Dogs don't get the exercise and the socialization that they need out of being in an apartment on their one walk a day. So we really get to fill a void, bring a need to the community. We've experienced the same thing with our dogs over the past. And if anyone's ever tried to board anyone around a holiday on short notice, it's pretty tough to facilitate. So it just became a natural fit for us. And I think Houndstown is just a little bit different, which we're going to get into, I know, but it's just a little bit of a different take in kind of how we think about dogs, how we manage dogs, how we treat dogs. Trying to see the world through a dog's eyes instead of through a person's eyes. It's a bit of a different concept than most boarding and daycare facilities.
Yeah, that's a unique stat about the apartment. I didn't know that. I mean, I live in an apartment right now, and I do see a couple people that do have dogs, and I see them walking around the complex all the time. That would be, if I had a dog, that would be my main thing that I would want them to do. And I find it hard just being in an apartment with a dog. I mean, I got a couple cats there lounging over on the couch right now, but I would definitely get a dog if I had something like this.
Yep, for sure. And it's if you live in an apartment, you only have so many options to exercise a dog, and especially a big dog. A lot of people have those, Great Danes or Labs or anything like that. It's tough in a one bedroom.
Yeah, I would feel horrible if I had a bigger dog like that with, a 6, 7, 800 square foot apartment for them to
Yep.
just walk back and forth. That just sounds horrible to me. And I know you're coming into Burnsville. Why did you guys specifically choose Burnsville versus another city?
Well, at Houndstown, we own kind of a section of zip codes, and we looked at a bunch of options. Burnsville had a natural fit, just kind of, we're going to be right off of Highway 13 and Nicollet, just on the north side. It's very centrally located. There's a natural fit for us on the apartment side of things. There's a lot of apartments in that section of Burnsville, so there's just naturally a need. It was just a good fit. The city of Burnsville has been great to work with from the very start when we started kind of looking at site selection. And we found a really good fit for us from building and location perspective. And so it just kind of fell into place. We didn't necessarily drop a pin on Burnsville and say, here's where we're going. But in the end, it was a great fit for what we were trying to do.
Yeah, that sounds great. And maybe tell us a little bit about the facility itself, like how big it is,
Sure.
kind of maybe like what the suites are kind of like for the dogs that are doing the board.
Yep. So we are, if anyone knows where Bricksworth Brewing is in Burnsville, we are just 2 doors down from there. It's a 5,400 square foot facility. It used to be actually a medical device, kind of a warehouse, if you will. So it really gave us a space to really be able to manipulate and do what we need to in the background. When you walk in, front desk, pretty standard. Walk through into the back. There's a grooming room in the back. There's a spa room. Those are kind of out of view. But the main part of it is the play areas. And in that play area, we're going to have 5 different playrooms, and we'll get into what those are for. But they are different sizes and structures that are really designed for different use for the dogs. And then around the entire perimeter of the back part of the facility is all of our townhomes and suites. So we don't do cages with boarding. Like I mentioned, all of the boarders get to also go to daycare. So it's all kind of in one big room together, but separated into sections. And they're actually built into like little houses with peaks on them. So they actually look like townhomes, and we put shingles on them and everything. They're kind of cool.
And then I saw that there are some themed suites. Could you tell us a little bit more about what some of the themes of it you guys
Most of
decided
it,
on yet?
we haven't really decided yet what we're going to do. There is kind of a standard that goes down Houndstown Boulevard. It's kind of like barbershops and fire department, police, stuff like that. Our founder is actually one of the original founders of the canine unit in the Nassau County Police Department out on Long Island. So there tends to be a trend to that. But we're not 100% sure yet. We're still in construction. So there's lots of Minnesota themes we can go with, whether it's, hockey, outdoors, canoeing, you name it. TBD though.
Hey, before we continue, if you're enjoying this podcast, we really appreciate your support. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, just go down and leave us a 5-star rating or write a quick review. It only takes a few seconds, but it makes a huge difference in helping new listeners discover the show. Thanks so much for your support. Now back to the show. I know you talked about a little bit about it, but the grooming / pampering type of stuff, what do you guys specifically do for that?
Yeah, it's an add-on. So we don't do individual grooming. So we can't just bring our dog in and have a bath. They have to be there for daycare or boarding. But when dogs play together in a daycare setting, especially in the interactive scenario that we've got, they're going to get dirty. They're going to be covered in slobber. They're going to be messy. So a couple different bath options, baths with drying. We do ear cleanings, all kind of the standard items so that we send your dog home, fresh and clean instead of kind of like a wet dog. That's what happens when they play. Also, there's teeth brushing services. We do nail trims as well. That's the general gist of most of it. We also do what's a blueberry facial. It's really for those tear stains that kind of get stuck in their fur right there. And sometimes people are like, oh, your dog's got eye boogers. No, they're tear stains, and that's just where they come from. So we scrub those out too. And it smells like blueberry pie, which is pretty fantastic.
Is there any kind of, I know some places they kind of sort the dogs into maybe it's like the big dogs and the small dogs, or more energetic dogs, less energetic dogs. Do you do something like that too?
Yeah, and so one of the big things that makes us different, and we're still learning this because we haven't been in it for 20 years like Mike has necessarily, but we're experts in dog management from the corporate side of Houndstown. And one of those big things is that kind of like people, you can't just take 50 people, stick them in a room, and they all get along and they all have the same temperament and they all have the same likes and dislikes, and dogs aren't too dissimilar in that same sense. So we sort all dogs. We start with a temperament test. They have to basically be able to be good on a leash and with each other. It's pretty simple, takes 30 seconds. From there, we kind of learn the dog's personality a little bit. You can easily see how big they are and how old they are. That's an easy one to sort them by. But also, what's their personality? What are they like? Are they energetic? Are they a little bit more physical? Are they maybe a little bit older and don't want to be with those dogs? We sort all the dogs into groups, and it's really our pack mentality. We want to create a pack that's balanced. So you don't just put all of the 1-year-old labs that are just ready to go for it in one room together. We split them up a little bit, really try to balance those packs out. So we try to create a natural pack environment. And we're trying to simulate what actually happens in nature when dogs get together. They will build a hierarchy. They will build kind of a pack together. And if you balance them right, it's pretty cool when you're in a facility how they all just kind of hang out together and you see the motion go. And sometimes there is a little trick to it when you have to add a dog or remove a dog if they're not perfect. Not too different than people. So same scenario, but really it allows them to play all day together in that safe environment and sometimes bring some of those shy dogs out of their shell a little bit when you mix those groups up.
Yeah, that's great to hear, because I know sometimes when my dad had a dog that did the boarding stuff while he'd go on a work trip and whatnot, it wouldn't be the best experience because it was a little small Yorkshire Terrier that they would mix with the bigger dogs, and it kind of just didn't work out all the time. And I know that is a big concern for pet owners.
Yeah, and especially, you can't put a Pomeranian with a Great Dane. Like, just the size difference is unsafe, but also there can be predator responses that get triggered in certain scenarios. So we're pretty careful about all.
Yeah. And talking about Burnsville mostly, are you partnering with any kind of local shelters around there, or maybe shelters around the South Metro here?
Yep, we will be. So we're going to be right around the 100th Houndstown nationally. We're the only one in Minnesota. We're going to be the first one. But we were just at our reunion recently and got to talk to a lot of different owners of how do you partner with shelters. And there's lots of opportunities for us, not only to just partner with them and try to get dogs adopted, but even take dogs in certain scenarios. Maybe they need socialization. Maybe it's trying to bring a couple adoption opportunities in home into the store and bring people in to see them. So once we get operations going, we get our feet under us a little bit more, we'll definitely be partnering with a couple. And really, it's one of those items that we get to give back to. We're not just here to let your dog play. Like there's lots of dogs that need homes and need love, and we're gonna have an opportunity and a platform to help that in a good way.
Yeah, and you were talking about how you guys are currently in that construction phase. What's like the current status of it right now, and do you have a estimated, month of opening that you think will happen?
Yep, we're targeting early December to be done. So TBD if we're going to make it open this year or not. It's all going to depend on construction. I was there this morning. We were polishing floors, so we are well underway. So I would say January 1st is probably a safe target. We're hoping before Christmas, but knock on wood, we'll see. We'll see where that ends up.
Where can people go for more updates on this kind of grand opening, and maybe like a house tour if you're doing something like that, just showing people the place?
Generally speaking, it's going to be our website or Facebook. It's just Houndstown USA /Burnsville. If you just look up Houndstown Burnsville, we're the only one, so it's kind of hard to miss us. There is a contact sign up form on there, so we'll keep you updated for opening announcements, date, obviously. Anyone that does sign up, we do give a free day of daycare is kind of a kickoff point. That'll go whether it's before we open or afterwards. It's kind of a test for you and us, and it's just a good way to kind of see how things fit for your dog. And then we will also have a grand opening. It's not set yet because we need to know when we're going to be done with construction, but I would assume probably early Q1 sometime we'll be hosting some sort of a grand opening with few partners, and then we'll do a couple things with the city of Burnsville in between there with ribbon cutting and all the fun things that they do from a city perspective.
And we'll obviously put the website and all that in the show notes description for people to go and click.
Yeah.
And are you currently looking for people to work there, or what's the situation with that?
Yep, we are. So we just posted our first role yesterday. Lots of interest already for our management positions. We will open the other roles, which we will post here probably, looking at the date, probably in about 3 weeks or so. Some varying roles there from canine attendants to shift leads and things of that nature. We will be hiring probably 8 to 10 people in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Anyone who wants to apply, there is an apply now button right on our website that you'll throw that link into. It goes direct to me and Justine, my wife, and we're reviewing and actively having conversations.
All right. And just because I don't really know what does the pricing kind of look like for?
Yeah. One of the things as you go through different doggy daycare facilities is there's a lot of different pricing structures. There's a lot of add-on costs and different things like that. One of the things that also makes us different is it's pretty straightforward. Boarding is just going to be a straight rate. It's not set yet. By the end of next week, it will be. So I will definitely give you the price then. But let's just say it's $65 a day. That includes everything with boarding, any medications we need to give, food, personal belongings. It also includes that full day of daycare along with it. The only other thing that gets added onto there is really spa services. So if you're there, your dog's here for 5 days, you want a bath before they go home, we do it that last afternoon before pickup. And then daycare is very similar as well. It's just a flat rate, totally inclusive. No extra add-on fees outside of spa service.
And then you talked about just a little bit about the leash stuff, but what is kind of like the first time visit process to make sure that the dog would be a good fit for you guys?
Sure. Yep. We do what we call a temperament test. It's pretty easy. We're going to have a core set of dogs that obviously come to us pretty often and kind of know the routine. They're also our helper dogs on those certain scenarios. So let's say you call tomorrow and say, hey, Tony, I want to bring in my 60-pound 3-year-old black lab. We will bring a dog of kind of similar age, size, temperament, those sorts of things out. We're not going to bring my sister-in-law's very energetic yellow lab who makes everyone a little nervous. Well, not the way it goes. But both dogs on a leash with employees, and we just kind of do a quick pass by and just make sure they do the quick doggy handshake and no major aggression issues. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we also give the free day of daycare. It's kind of that ongoing test for both us, you, and your dog to just to make sure things are a good fit. New environment, it'll be on us to make sure that we kind of help them through the day. Sometimes it's that shy dog that needs a little bit of extra to kind of get in with the group. So we really manage them throughout the day on that first stay. And we also give a report card afterwards of really what happened, how did it go, what did we see, what did we maybe not see. Try to make sure that dog parents also really have a good understanding of how that day went as well.
All right. And then what are you most excited about bringing to Burnsville?
Yeah, I think it's been cool to go out to different events that we've been to through the end of summer here at some of the festivals and different things, and just hearing the needs of dog owners. You know, people that have dogs that are older, or like we don't have breed restrictions. We welcome dogs of any type, any ability, as long as they can pass that temperament test and keep up with the pack. And that's just not always the case, unfortunately. You know, some places don't sort dogs. Some have a weight limit. Some have breed restrictions. And again, some of those dogs that don't have that opportunity for socialization. Jackie, our COO, has a great story about how Houndstown saved her dog's life when she first found it. And I think that's the big thing that's going to come out of Houndstown is there are dogs that need a facility like this. It's way more for the dogs than it is for the owners. It's peace of mind for owners, but we really, you know, our tagline is we do it for the dogs because we really do. And if we can affect a couple dogs' lives and for the better and help some shelters out in the process, you know, that's really what's gonna be the best part for us at the end of the day.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much, Tony, for taking time into your day and coming on this podcast here. And make sure to go to the Houndstown site and the Burnsville page that will be in the show notes to sign up for the opening updates and some potential special offers that they may be having.
Thanks for having me, Brady.